Dun dun! Welcome to week 33. My name is Leanne, in case you have no idea what you're watching, and this is my creative week video. So this week I'm super excited with how the end of my video came out, so definitely stay tuned until the end because it's really fun. For me anyway. It was fun to film. There we go. Forgot to turn the sound off again. Okay, so what I'm doing here is a galaxy night sky type painting. A lot of people are doing these recently, but I really wanted to do one with some trees. And a lot of you, especially Bree, wanted me to do more drawing because you guys really liked the drawing that I did last week. So this I know isn't quite a drawing, but it's still at least along those lines. It's not just my usual cut and paste type situation. So I go back and forth between this page and that, so don't worry, you'll see that again come into full development. And you also see this page come into full development. I got some requests for more journal with me's, which obviously that's what my creative week is, but I understand some people work start to finish. So I do 2 pieces this week, start to finish. Just moving back and forth between the two. Anyway, this is a picture of my sister, my younger sister. She wanted me to do her Halloween makeup for her. She was a goddess unicorn type thing. So you put all the glitter on her face and did her eye makeup for her and stuff. And you really can't tell in the picture, but it looked really good. And she really liked it. She had a lot of fun. So I'm glad it came out the way she wanted and that I was able to help her with that. I was also really proud of my makeup skills, considering I only wear eyeliner and mascara, literally, and moisturizer, but that doesn't even count. So I wanted to document that. As always, just paper layering. I'm using my pile of scraps and some label stickers and washi. And I just made this really cool cluster on top of this amazing vintage piece of paper. I believe that says 1906, but I'm not positive. It's really old. And it was in a letter from an attorney, so just using that. And I thought I was going to use this butterfly napkin, but I didn't. And then I wanted some color, but I didn't want to distract from the cluster. I wanted to kind of blend my cluster and the background together. So I took a brush and I did these they remind me of butterfly wings, kind of. They're just wispy, whoop whoop. That's, yeah. That's what the shape would sound like. They're whoop whoops and some dots. So I did that to kind of tie it all together and added some word phrase stickers, and I think that was it other than my journaling. It's a really simple page, kind of scrapbooky-ish, but I really did like how it came out. And it's cool to have pictures of my sister in my journal and not just selfies. So I'm going back to my galaxy, and this is where I'm going to put the trees in after the watercolor had dried. And I just took my Dylusions black paint because I use that for everything, and made some tree-like shapes. Super simple, literally you have to have 0 art skills to do this piece, for sure. So if you try this, inspired by me, obviously I'm not the only person in the world to do this, everyone does this, but if you want to try this out and share it with me, tag me on Instagram because I would love to see it, which is linked in the description box below for you in case you didn't know. Then I went back in with some watercolor and just added more layers. I wanted it to be a little bit darker behind the trees and just really galaxy up that galaxy, which I look at now and it was kind of fine, but whatever. And then I wanted to do a background around this. So this is that B6 journal, by the way, from last week. I took some of my oxides in peeled paint and faded jeans I think I used, and just went around that to make like a background. so it didn't just look like a giant floating circle. And I also used Vintage Photo to kind of blend everything together. Then I went back in with the paint and made the circle bigger, but obviously it hadn't dried yet, so it bled a little bit, which ended up being pretty cool. Like, I wanted it to really look like all of that belonged together, so that black, strong black wonky outline really helped. Then I went back in with my white Uniball Signo, my holy grail of white pens, and put some stars in. Because what's a night sky without some stars? I also outlined the little porthole thing and outlined the page apparently. And yeah, and date stamped it. Oh yeah. So that was that. Then I decided to just swatch some markers that I had brought with me. No reason why, just felt like swatching some color. And then I thought I was going to work on that page, but it wasn't the right time. And I didn't. I worked on something else, I think. Oh, I worked on this insert. That's right. So I have this insert that finishes up October, and obviously I want to move on to November and be like not behind for once. So I had no idea what to do with this pocket. I had struggled with it for a while, and then I finally figured it out. So one of my pen pals from one of my pen pals on Instagram, there we go, posted a picture of a page she did inspired by me with like an eyeball and stuff, and I was absolutely in love with it. You might have seen it. I reposted it on my Instagram stories. I'm not sure if her account is private or not, so I will leave it linked below for you. If it is private, I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's worth a check out. So I wanted to journal about that. I just put a paper layer on the back with a journaling sticker. Excuse me, yawn. And journaled about that. I think I'm just going to need a Red Bull today. Coffee is not cutting it. It's noon and I need to get my butt together. Okay, so this was the back of that element that Brie had sent me in her pen pal letter, and I just wanted it to look like something, so I put some black paint on it and some stars, and then I stapled a acetate piece that I had played with alcohol ink on there, and that was my flip pocket thing. I know it's gone off screen now, but I wanted to finish what I was saying. So this here is the front of that B6 cover that you saw me watercolor last week, and I wanted to put this sticker on there, and I didn't even realize that the colors matched until after, and I was like, hell yeah! So I put that on the front and then just did some outlining with the black paint. Since the binding tape is black, it just tied it all together, and I really, really like how it came out. I can't wait to work more in this journal. And now we've come to my favorite part of the video. I'm going to talk to you guys about my personal journaling. Here I'm just gathering my supplies. I use my date stamp, my personal journal. I keep my bullet journal by me when I'm journaling in case any to-dos or stuff I need to write down pops into my head. And then a cup of coffee, of course. So first what I do is pick out whatever ink I want to use. This is like a green glittery ink. It's Magical Force something, and then I make my header. I tend to draw a line and then do some kind of design. This month I'm doing stars, and then I do the date. And I really like knowing what the day of the week is. That's just how it is. So this is my written journal, but when I don't finish an entry like this one on the left, it really bugs me having all that blank space there. So I tend to put photos in and stuff. So I have a stack of photos that I like that don't really go with anything specifically, like this eye that I found on Instagram, and it's the perfect thing to just stick in there. So I did a little bit of collage. Sometimes I'll do this before I start journaling. Sometimes I'll do it in the middle of it if I'm having like a block. Sometimes it's all I do. It really depends. I have no like specific routine when it comes to this. It's just whenever I'm feeling it, it goes in. So I used part of a glassine bag and this every image tells a story cut out from a magazine, and I made it look like a sign, which I thought was fun. And then I sit down with my cup of coffee and I just journal it out. Some people use prompts when they journal. I usually don't. I just stream of consciousness write, and usually even if I write something stupid, like right now I'm writing, I hope nobody can see what I'm writing. It just kind of gets you going. I'll tell what kind of coffee I'm drinking, just something to start me writing, and then I will just literally write whatever pops into my head. Lots of people do this. They call it morning pages. It's stream of consciousness writing, but it's just how I write in my journal all the time. I don't sit down at the end of the day and say, this happened today and this happened today. It's just how I work. I like the idea of prompts, but I never seem to get them out. So I just write however long I need to, and that's how I do it. If you have any more questions, I'd love to talk more about written journaling if you're interested in that, so let me know. One of the things I do in my journal is at the beginning of every month, I have this calendar, which you may have seen me put in there before. I usually use Courtney, the Little Raven Inks page around calendars that she gives us every month. And every time I journal in my journal, I circle it in that color pen. I don't know why, I just really like the visual representation of how many entries are in my journal and where they are and what color pen they are. It's just really cool. I used to only write in black, but this journal I'm writing in all the colors. So, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. That brings us to the end of this week's video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I hope you have a fantastic creative week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.